Another year for the Bowie Bay Sox and another roster brimming with talent. Paul Mancano and Brendan Mortensen here from Prince George's Stadium. And Brendan, we got to talk to some of the talented players on this Bowie Bay Sox roster. And they seem to be in a transition phase between the 2021 draft class, which has already made its way up to AAA Norfolk for the most part, and the 2022 draft class, which will be on its way soon, but they're still loaded with talented prospects.
Yeah, kind of a hodgepodge of a few different draft classes here, but still some of the most talented prospects in the Orioles organization. We've talked with Heston Kjerstad, Coby Mayo, Cade Povich, one of the Orioles' top pitching prospects. So still a lot to work with here if you're Kyle Moore.
Manager Kyle Moore has had the chance to work with a lot of these prospects over the year. He spoke with us earlier about how loaded this group is.
Overall, I have not seen this much talent in players from a low level like 17, 16-year-old Luis Almeida to your guys knocking on the door. I mean, I know how we did it, but I just can't believe we got that many players. You know, to be quite honest with you, like we have a ton of good players. We got guys that are going to change the game in the major leagues, and we might have 20 of them. Nobody else has that, and that's the biggest difference that I see.
One returning player for the Bay Sox is third baseman Coby Mayo. And Brendan, we've seen people outside the organization project Mayo to be at first base or maybe in the outfield long term. But it seems like both the organization and the player are committed to having Mayo play third.
Yeah, ever since he was drafted, it seems like the buzz around Mayo was just that he was going to outgrow the position at third base. He was going to add too much strength. Once he filled in a little bit, he was going to have to move off that hot corner. But Coby Mayo certainly doesn't think so. He's still adding that strength, hitting more home runs, but he's maintained the quickness as well for the field.
The exit velos are going to be through the roof again this year. He spoke earlier today about what he did during the offseason and where he thinks he can play in 2023.
I just need to prove that I can stick at any position, whether that's third, first, outfield. You know, preference, I'd love to play third base in the big leagues. I know I can. Working with all these guys and Manzo and DJ a lot. But I think it's just being consistent, showing that I can, hit anything and everything. I think I can do it, and I'm going to try to get there. I think in the off season you're putting on some size, but you're also doing some movement skills. You know, still practicing at third, doing some running. So with every big lift, you're going out and doing some kind of running and making sure that you can still move around. So
you're definitely not feeling like you're outgrowing a position or anything like that?
No, I mean I honestly feel better every year. I'm putting more weight on every year, but I feel better every year at third. Like I said, DJ and Manzo did a really good job, honing in on just being a better third baseman, being a better player altogether.
Now, the position players are drawing the bulk of the headlines, but in terms of the pitching staff, the Orioles do have some intriguing arms down here. You've got Justin Armbruster, Carlos Tavera, Cade Povich, Chase McDermott, to name a few.
Yeah, Povich and McDermott, two guys who came into the organization at the trade deadline last year. Justin Armbruster was briefly an Orioles top prospect. He was in the top 30 per MLB pipeline. And then Carlos Tavera, a recent high draft pick by the Orioles. Really excited to see how this starting rotation performs.
An exciting season on tap for the Bowie Bay Sox. From Prince George's Stadium, for Brendan Mortensen, I'm Paul Mancano. We'll see you in Bowie.